Hello, um, I'm Jack Schneider, and I'm going to do my vocabulary project over World War One. It's just kind of the gist of it. It's nothing super, in depth about it, but I'm going to do it over the 10th grade, and it'll be world history. Get into my slideshow. But the vocabulary project that I'm going to do over is called the Vocabulary Overview Guide. And what type of text I'm going to use is a photograph, which is the image down in the bottom right here. It's an image, or I guess it's a painting that was taken back during World War One. Just kind of gives you a general idea of what I'm going to be kind of basing everything off of right here. But just like a general idea over the vocabulary overview guide, um, it was invented in 1985 by Eileen Carr. It's basically just a graphic organizer that includes a bunch of different techniques that dive deep on tier 2 and tier 3 words. It also takes 6 steps, so it is pretty elaborate here. Step 1, basically, you select a few vocab words that relate to the materials going on in class. Like I said, I already used tier 2 and tier 3 words that are kind of related to key themes and ideas of the text. So, like going back to my picture, I'm using honor, duty, heroism, and trench. Those are all 4 words that I kind of like, when looking at the image, I came up with those 4 words. And you would have your students kind of do something similar. I'll dive deeper in that in a second. Step 2 is you kind of just try to dive deeper with the students and see what they already know. Like after you've picked those 4 words, you can have them just gather just prior knowledge, just like you would in any other topic. Um, my example here is heroism, which is basically I have them, you know, find out the definition, which is great bravery. I would tell them that. Then ask the students the tone of the word and have them generate a word phrase within the context of the word. This just basically means that you just want them to put the word in a sentence so they get a better idea of what's going on. And I did duty, which is my duty to finish this assignment. Step 3 is for students to look at the text/photo. This time paying more attention to the broader context of the vocab words. So basically, this time you have the students relook and see if they can match those words that they already know and have kind of learned about and find where you could find them in the image. This isn't quite the same image, but it's something similar to what I had already used, and they can make correlations already. But if I was teaching this regularly, I would have the normal one right here more than likely. And as they're going, you to have them look for more unfamiliar words that they, might want to explore a little bit further. Step 4 is the most complex one of the 6 steps, and you would have your students, think a little bit more again about what those words might mean, but this time even deeper. You don't want them to converse and think of a definition necessarily, because you've already done that. You want them to confirm what they already knew or what they thought they knew and what's changed. So kind of like if you had them do a theory and if you confirm that, or basically along those lines. And then you could also have them discuss with partners or have them engage in some kind of group work that might get them discussing the word more and see other perspectives while you do that. And then at the very end of the step, I know you could probably have broken the step even more, but you could have them think about words that might relate to the vocab words. Like I used trench, for example, and trench, I came up with connecting words like war, battles, enlisting. I know those don't necessarily go hand in hand with the word trench and then what they're looking like in the image, but from the word trench, you think of a war has to be happening. They must be fighting a battle. And then, how did those soldiers get there? They enlisted. So like you can start making correlations there with all those words, and it kind of foreshadows what you want to go into, and also helps you dive a little bit deeper into the text they're using. Step 5 is embed these target words in your classroom activities. Basically, just anytime you're finishing that activity or moving on with similar things, you can use these. And by using these, it helps you, helps the students get more familiar with those words, and helps you as a teacher get your point across. Yeah, like I said here, so students are not only reading them, they are also hearing them as well. That goes a big way when there's more than one way they can read the text or see it. Make sure you give the students opportunities to accomplish these vocab strategies. If you just throw it at them and move on, they're never going to learn. You got to give them time, and you have to work with them. Step 6 is very short, simple, and it's just basically moving forward after that, like you moving it toward your next future ones. Basically, by the end of this, you want them to maybe work in groups and pairs by themselves, and maybe even have them, lead their own vocab organizers of some sort. And that's the whole 6 steps to this. You're wanting to show them how to do it, and then maybe they can eventually do it at the end. But like you kind of just, as a teacher, you got to use this one all the time, and it helps them explain everything and understand it a little bit better. How I became familiar with this vocab strategy, I found it in the Buell textbook that we're doing in class. It's in there. Why use a strategy or vocab strategy with my text? I know, I think probably a lot of people are doing, videos or something along those lines. I decided to do an image because I think images show so much. Like the old saying, one picture is worth 1,000 words. And I really truly believe that. This, basically, you can just dive deep into that. Like I've already kind of explained it previously, honor, duty, heroes, and trench. They're all in this picture somewhere. If you just, look, and you can kind of infer those words. And you could also find a million different, words that go along with this picture. And that's why I think using this type of vocab strategy still works with an image, even though it kind of is far-fetched in a little bit. But if you can make it work as a teacher. And then that's kind of the same way I said how the vocab strategy fits into my lesson. Like you just throw this image in, or it doesn't have to be this image. It can be either similar images, and then they pick out. Like you wouldn't pick the words for them. They would pick their own words, and then they can do this strategy, and you'd help them along the way. It could work for any of the kids. It does not one shoe size fits all. It would work for everyone. How I think the strategy will help students read the text or negotiate the difficult parts of the text. I have 3 things. We'll break down the text into photos. Like when you're staring at one thing, like heroism or trench, you're staring at one portion of that. Like it'll break down the whole thing for you, so it's not just everything looking at you at once. It gives more meaning to the text after you realize what each one of those words means that they might not know. It'll give more meaning and power to the image or photo, or if it was a video, it'd give more meaning to that. Will give the students the opportunity to imagine. Like now that they know this, they can imagine what happened after, before. It foreshadows what you want them to maybe know during World War I, which is super crucial. How would I assess if the vocab strategy helps students? How would I assess if the vocab strategy helps students? I mean, like it's just like anything else. You could use a Kahoot, Quizlet to see what they know. Google Form, you could do a group discussion. Classroom discussions are always good. Just having kids answer back after your questions, or just an exit slip, just a quick, easy review. And that's everything I got.